Hey there, hi there, Sagittarius. It's me, Priscilla B, and welcome to your energetic upgrade reading. So, I'm going to be reading for you a energetic chakra spread, so that we can get all your chakras into alignment today or tomorrow, whenever you're watching this. I'm going to be using major arcana cards only. All right, and I'll tell you why I'm doing that in a minute. So, first off, the energetic chakra spread. Okay, this spread should be done as a meditation and a visualization along with a card reading. Shuffle and place 7 cards before you face down. Proceed to interpret each card. As you turn each card, imagine that chakra opening and spinning in your body while simultaneously focusing on the card's message. Okay, so I'm going to start with the root base of spine, and this is your security. Okay. Ooh, we got the Hierophant for your security. Okay, for your base of spine. Alrighty, so yeah, looking at that, interesting. Okay, Hierophant energy. This is the book that I'm using, Darkwood Tarot. Okay, it's all about shadow work and going on your journey and your origin story, and yeah, it's just really good. Definitely recommend getting it. Okay, the Hierophant is the archetype of the teacher. The answers you seek stand before you. Okay, Sag? The Shadow Witch departs from the Valley of Fire. She spies a book upon her path. She picks up the tome and flips through its sweet, musky pages. Another strewn book catches her attention. This book leads to another book. Before she knows it, like a trail of breadcrumbs, the books lead her to an animated anthropomorphic tree. Trees are wise teachers to those who stop, look, and listen. The Hierophant tree stands as the external symbol for and doorway to religion and assorted dogmas. All religious and spiritual teachings come from the Hierophant. Okay, that's better. Um, yeah, so this card reflects the relationship between mentor and student. It is giving and taking, the pursuit of knowledge, and a systematic course of study. Crossed keys bearing the Darkwood's initials reflect the unlocking of knowledge. A teacher encourages the student to uncover what they have always known deep inside. The 2 turtles in the water are the connection to natural history. The snake is Kundalini power. The Hierophant makes a sign of benediction and blessing with her right hand. Her left hand holds a scroll of ancient symbols, the historic gateway to knowledge transcending language. Symbols speak directly to our unconscious. She is our attempt to explain and explore the ineffable. The Emperor provides order for the world. The Hierophant gives us a hint, an indication of the secrets and mysteries that exist behind the structure of daily life. The passing on of a lineage and holy teachings, religious historic texts and ritualistic implements, external spirituality, religious structures and institutions, belief systems that are instilled rather than experienced, societal norms and expectations, teachers and students, mentorship, the sharing of information. What lesson are you learning? The shadow side to this is a group thing, okay? It's a crowd mentality, the expectation that you will go along with the status quo, signing up for a system of beliefs that don't make sense to you. Teachers obsessed with exercising authority instead of empowering students. Thinking your way is the only way. Speaking when you should listen. Using personal spirituality as an excuse to degrade others. Okay, Scorpio, you're not like that. Okay, you've already like mastered that shadow part of yourself where you think like you know everything, or everyone is like you're above everybody else. And I also feel like we shouldn't necessarily like not have an ego. It's just how we channel that ego, and I feel like you channel it in a really good way. I know that's so vague, but we'll get into it. But like, here we go. Here's the Hierophant. Okay, imagine that this tree is you, and you already hold the keys to unlocking your own truth, your own power, your own teachings, your own truth, your own potential. Okay, And look, I love how she's like holding up her finger as if to say, or like two fingers, but like forming a light there at the end. It's just as if she's to say like, no, 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 I don't think so. Like, you're not going to let other people write your narratives, okay? You're not going to let other people take control over your life and your story and your design and your makeup. You're exactly who you're meant to be. That is embedded in your DNA. And I know people say like, oh, not people, not people. I know that like, my experience with like AI is like, it doesn't have a belief system. It doesn't believe in like destiny. It thinks of that in terms of like, that is what people try to convince themselves so that they feel like they have purpose. That's the difference between AI and people and humans. Humans have to believe they have purpose and they feel they have purpose, and therefore that is their truth. So that, I feel, is the key difference to AI versus human. Okay, now moving into sacral, your sexuality. Okay, also AI is not a sexual being. Okay, the Emperor. Okay, the Hierophant literally just talked about the Emperor. It says provides order for the world. Yes, there needs to be order. Of course, there needs to be some structure and some systems. But a lot of the systems today are very outdated and are very inconvenient. Yes, okay. There is a reason for systems, and then there's a reason why systems need to be upgraded. So if we can't upgrade the system of the world, we might as well just try to upgrade ourselves. So yeah, consciously. Okay, so that being said, let's move to the Emperor energy. I also feel like the Emperor is like very systematic when it comes to like that energy of like choosing who you want to be your partner versus what other people perceive as what you should have or what you shouldn't have. It's really like the Emperor gets to decide. It's the teacher. Okay, so the Hierophant is the teacher, I'm sorry, and the Emperor is the father. Okay, so define the boundaries of your life to create a kingdom. All right, so structure. Okay, I'm getting like structure, I'm getting discipline, and I feel like that there needs to be boundaries with that. Okay, you don't want so much structure that there's no room for creativity and there's no room for expression. You also don't want like discipline to be like have negative connotations. You want it to have building blocks to construct something that's going to survive, something that's going to help you. Think of it as like a ladder or stairs. Like, you have to, one step at a time, you will start to elevate yourself. One step at a time, you will start to grow more conscientious of like how you identify yourself and how you feel and what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And giving someone else the control factor over how you express your sexuality, that borderlines into like abuse and coercion. So you don't want that, obviously. What you do want is the ability to feel safe, to be yourself, and that whoever you choose to be yourself around respects you, understands you, and pretty much is like working as a team with you. Okay, there's equal give and take, there's equal partnership. Okay, The shadow witch moves through a rocky, craggy landscape as vegetation becomes scarce and the air grows humid. She hears the crackling of a bonfire. She stops to catch her breath while the eerie feeling of being watched creeps across her skin like a spider. She looks up to discover a pair of glowing eyes peering down. The Emperor is the male consort and partner of the Empress. He is the energy of boundaries and restrictions. He takes the expansiveness of the Empress and gives her shape and form. He is the builder and protector. The Emperor and the Empress court and dance with each other, but never consummate their attraction. Their mutual flirtation is what gives shape and form to the world. The Emperor is numbered 4 and reflects ultimate stability. He is the master of his domain. This is where habits are formed, order is created, and results are seen. He is the underlining structure of the tarot deck, as solid as the foundations of a house and with a sheer force of will that cannot be broken. He is you on top of your game, laying down the law and showing up and getting things done. The ram is the symbol of Aries and the embodiment of strength, initiative, determination, rules, and order. This is a card of power. The cliff reflects his boundaries. He would destroy them at a moment's notice when they no longer serve his purpose. The symbol of an Egyptian egg is carved into the cliff beneath him, suggesting everlasting life. His compact muscular body denotes strength. His horns are used to batter through opposable forces. Father figure, habits and strategies, creating success and results, authority and domination, defense and protection, established rules, asserting boundaries when needed and moving them when necessity calls for it, self-possession, and above all things, self-control. Controlling others rather than exerting control over the self. Not thinking of how your actions affect other people. Bullheaded and forceful, even when the situation does not call for such an approach. Having a my way or the highway attitude. Refusing to listen, refusal to budge. Okay? Alright, so, I mean, you have to really just, like, know what it is that you want, know what it is that you need, and then find that balance between the two. Because, really, essentially, it's like, your sexuality, your sacral chakra, that is sacred to you, okay? So if you're feeling some form of like neglect or some form of like imbalance in that area, you're gonna start to feel it. You're gonna start to know something's off. You're gonna start to ask questions. You're gonna start to want to know what is going on. Okay, and that's where you start to find your truth. That's where you start to find your power, because you're no longer like, you're building your own rules, you're building your own structures and your own foundation here. And yes, that energy can be shared with you through another person. At the end of the day, though, that energy you need to share that energy with yourself. You need to give yourself that structure. And that brings in solar plexus, your power. And we have the Empress. You are in control here, Sag. Okay? So, you have structure, you have boundaries. You also have the ability to inform certain people, places, and things that you are in power here. This is your life. This is your truth. And the Empress is the archetype of the mother. So you have the perfect balance right now, Sag. You are in like perfect balance with yourself. Okay, so the power, your power here, Empress energy. Empress. The Empress is the archetype of the mother. Your passion is the blueprint to your magic. A baby's cry echoes through the silent wood. This haunting sound tempts the shadow witch to peer around a mammoth tree and lock eyes with a reclining figure dressed in a red gown with a hand resting on her belly. The Empress expresses every creative urge bursting forth inside of you. The Empress guides you in creating and inventing your life. She is the expression of your talents. Her urge to expand and unfold is as primal as sex. This is why she's also the most sensual card of the deck. The Empress reflects activity and brilliance. She is a pulsating, breathing world of energetic expansion and beatific connection. She is the pure creative expression of the ever-expanding universe and human form. The Empress contains the passion and energy to create and destroy life. She is the insanity driving an artist to the brink of madness. As the mother archetype, she bears the burden of societal fantasy, for mothers are expected to be all things to all creatures. The Empress's pregnancy is metaphorical. It conveys birthing an idea, project, or person into the world. She rests upon a witch's hand, a tree trunk with finger branches. A witch's hand is a powerful gathering point of magic and energy. Hands are the creative portal of the body, fashioning all things from food to invention, love and gesture, contact and caress. Bats hang upside down as representation of dormant potential soon to awaken within you. The Empress's red dress aligns with menstruation, the membrane of life. She is a doorway, the threshold through which the birth waters of the High Priestess flow. The Empress takes the High Priestess's blueprint into the reality of the physical world. The Empress siphons the inner sanctum of the High Priestess out into the microism of sensual formation. The sign of Venus is inside the heart of love. She is sex appeal, ambition, and above all things, unbounded passion. The Empress appears in a reading to remind you of your powers of invention and imagination. Your passions and institutions are the clues to the unfolding mystery of you. The universe supports all creative action. Manifest your visions and make the world a more beautiful place while living the life of your dreams. Mother figure, creation, artistic ability, soft, gentle, nurturing touch, reinvention and expression, confidence and the abundance of the soul, fertility and birth, sensorial pleasure and earthly delights, stepping in tune with seasonal change, displaying natural abundance in all things, the nurturing of self-expression and potential. Destroying the hopes and dreams of another is the shadow side to this, okay? Unsupportive attitude, thoughtless words, jealousy over another's success, hating on others' good fortune because you do not believe in your own power, abusing motherly power. Okay, Sag, I know you probably experienced this shadow stuff before in society and like in your connections, relationships with people. And I feel like if anything, it's just shown you like more depth and more character to like who like you are versus like what everyone else is or what everyone else thinks you're supposed to be. Like, I mean, you're not better than everyone else. You're not better than all people in existence, but there are certain people that have this energy of like that neglect feeling, right? And they project it onto you, or they have this feeling of like, oh, you have hopes and dreams, Sag. Let's smash that as soon as possible. Like, when you feel that energy, when you feel the feeling of being attacked, okay, especially when it comes from like a shadow, this is like part of my whole like shadow queen theory, but definitely recommend watching my Shadow Queen series. But like basically a Shadow Queen is someone who like knows that they have power in their energy and they use it to hurt and harm others. And it's like, think of like the evil stepmother in like all the Disney movies ever made. No, think of like the evil Disney mom in Cinderella, okay? That's like a very negative version of like a mother, right? That's like a shadow queen, okay? Then you have like the story of like Maleficent with Angelina Jolie, and you see like what power, like when someone's been hurt, like she has her wings taken from her. When that happens, like she can either like be like super mean to people and like super destructive, or she can seek vengeance and justice. And that's what she chooses. Like she chooses to balance the scales, right? To take back what's already hers, to take her own wings back. And that's when you have like your ego's been bruised, you've been hurt, but instead of hurting other people, you just now justice has been served, like now, like it's your wings, they always belong to her. I don't know if you've seen that movie Maleficent or whatever, but that's like the example that I'm thinking of, and actually let me just show you here. Because justice, people don't like justice because it's like, it's the truth. Oh. And the truth is that you have to like find justice for yourself. And if the Empress, you know, if the nurturing, loving qualities of the Empress, like if she's not giving love and nurturing in her life, and she's not able to give it to herself, that's when things go awry. Okay? So, you know, like, choose who you want to be around, choose who you want to let in your life. Because if you know, and you can't always, like, sometimes there's lessons to be learned. Like, sometimes you do put trust and faith in people and then they let you down, and that's part of life as well. But you have to remember at the end of the day, you can choose to be destructive the way they're destructive, or you can choose to create. That is the key difference between the Empress and channeling, because everyone has shadow energy. So channeling your shadow energy into something creative, that is the magic and that is the essence of the Empress. Choosing to destroy and use her power for evil, right? Or like to like hurt people, and not in a justifiable way. That's, you know, now we're dealing with the Shadow Queen energy. That's, you know, you need to like be cautious of, and, you know, because you're not sure which way, well, you know which way they're going with that, and they're not willing to change the narrative. They're not willing to accept the truth. They're not willing to embrace reality. So yeah, that's how things are sometimes, Sag, unfortunately. So yeah, but this is your power, and you just like, you don't need to let other people take control or power over you in your own life. Like, that's not, yeah, we're not here for that. Okay, so I was gonna try to find the Justice card for you. Here we go. Oh, you know what, actually, wait a second. Wait a sec. Oh, maybe it was different. I was trying to think of what card that was under. Star, maybe? Oh, Temperance. Yeah, the balance. Temperance. Okay, so this definitely gives me like Maleficent vibes, right? Okay, so Temperance is the archetype of complexity, transcend duality to embrace entirety, the shadow which leaves death behind while understanding all her lessons. She moves out to a great plain and walks toward an endless horizon for what feels like hours. Her animal companions are true and stay by her side. Her throat becomes dry and she stops at a glistening pool to take a drink with her hands. A dark angel with horned headdress rises from the depths of the water, connecting to emotions, the subconscious, and eternal flow. The liquid she fuses is the integration of life energy. She displays mastery as she hones her skills. You become the expert. This is the beginning of maturation, like maturing. The Gothic tower stands in the distance as a hint of the ultimate attainment. This is to come. The tower is the highest physical point we can reach without leaving the ground. One of the lessons of death is understood, accepted, and ingested. The spirit can engage. Temperance. You are now able to combine the oppositional ideas of life and death in a new form. A new path appears. Options become available. The center and focal point of Temperance is the liquid she fuses. It is the card of balance and complexity, but also the magic we make when we focus on what's in front of us. We stand inside shifting polarities. Temperance is how we greet the changing dichotomy of life. Okay? Yeah. Balance within duality. Okay, so we all have a side to ourselves that's like, you know, sad sometimes or angry sometimes, right? These types of feelings get negative connotations all the time because our energy is low. We're on a very low vibrational frequency. However, if we stay there for too long and we don't try to channel that into something productive, into something creative, into something that can, like art, for example, is like the perfect way of channeling sadness, depression. It's like art therapy 101. You take all this frustration, all this anger, all this sadness, and you write about it. It's an art form. You sing about it. You paint it. Like you, like I feel like even like you can like model it in like photographs. There's so, or cooking, for example, or baking. There's so many forms. Okay. Yeah. Balance within duality, leading to complex thought and action, the honing of skills, energetic mastery, going with the flow, unique and successful combinations, excellent management skills put to the test with good results, originality, the unique expression of personal talent. Now there's the shadow artist, blocking yourself off from the natural ebb and flow of the universe, creative confusion, great talent going unused. Okay. Yes, there is the shadow artist, right? And then this is like, this is when you like purposefully block out that like energetic flow, that energetic feeling of like feeling good. Okay, it's kind of, it's almost a little bit like self-deprecating a little bit, because you're not really like opening yourself up to receive. You're closing yourself off on purpose, like intentionally. So you don't really want to do that, you know? All right, Sag. So now we move to your heart and we move to empathy, okay? Okay. We have the star. So let's take a look here at the star energy. The star is the archetype of healing. Universal alignment is your natural state. The tower has been toppled, and the shadow witch makes her way through smoldering rubble to discover a vast and peaceful body of water. Under a clear sky, she sheds her clothing and sits at the water's edge to bathe in starlight. A single toe gently breaks the surface. She teeters on an ancient tree while looking skyward. The star is the open, generous space emerging after the tower destroys what is no longer needed. The star is inspired space available after a true energetic clearing. The star reflects freedom. It reminds you of what is possible when it is hard to see through the static. The star is the opening of the soul. It is the card of possibility, life, and connection. It is the breeding ground of true magic. Generosity fills the star card with the ability to be kind to others and the self. Jubilation illuminates you like helium in a balloon. The body is alive and open, warm and receiving. This state of reception allows ingenious ideas to burst forth. An unexpected possibility, a thrilling opportunity, or a situation beyond your wildest dreams becomes available to you. The star is naked, losing all self-consciousness. She is vulnerable yet active. Celestial radiance showers upon her. This is the energy of the artist and muse. It reflects your connection to water, earth, and sky. She operates freely. The devil has relinquished his grip. The tower cleared the decks. You radiate hope, relief, and pleasure. Inspiration, minimalism, motivation, creating a new reality, emotional clearing, gifts of the heart and soul, belief, peace, pleasure, space cleared, hope, and optimism. Thinking life should always be brimming with pleasure. The assumption that fairy tales are true. Thinking outer perfection is everlasting. Preconceived ideas of everlasting bliss lead to disappointment and distress. Using others to justify your behavior. Trying to make things nice on the outside when the inside is festering. Dishonesty, shallow thoughts, and behavior. Yeah, you've got to like have empathy for yourself, because I feel like what's happening here with the star energy is like you already have been vulnerable, Sag, okay? It's just like this is something like this is just like another reminder that you can feel something for yourself too. Like you don't need to feel everything for everybody or everyone. And I think that what's happening here is that you're starting to see that when you have feelings for yourself and when you start to like nurture yourself and care for yourself again and respect who you are, that is going to lead you to like other people who also are empathetic, who also have empathy. And there's going to be other energetic connections that you're going to start to like feel like energy that's you've like met yourself, you know, you've met your soul tribe, you've met people in your life that are going to show you things about yourself that you never knew. It's almost like the star is like a reflection. I'm getting like you're reflecting here a lot and you're feeling a lot for yourself. Like I feel like you haven't felt, and I'm not trying to like say like, oh, play the martyr, play the victim or victim mentality here. I think you haven't been allowed, or there hasn't been a place for you that you've been allowed to feel sorry for yourself. Like, and I know there's going to be people who are like, oh, why are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, because someone has to. Okay, that's where empathy comes from. Okay, when we actually allow ourselves and give ourselves time and space to heal. A lot of people will avoid that process. A lot of people are not going to want to heal. They're not going to want to do the shadow work. They're not going to want to do the light work. They're not going to want to walk through the dark tunnel of scary, you know, facing our own demons, facing our own realities, facing our own choices and all of that, because it's too scary for them. Their own choices they're too afraid of their own life that they've lived. They don't even accept it as reality. They constantly live in delusions. Okay, you are walking the right path though. Just know that, Sag. Like if you need to cry because you just went through a breakup, cry then. Like who like people shouldn't be like making fun of you or judging you because of that. That's on them, you know. Also, like I feel at the same time that people are going to say things about you, Sag. You probably already know this, okay? It's not like your first trip to the rodeo, but like, you know, other people are going to be clowns. They're going to be like treating you badly. They're going to be projecting their own stuff onto you. You know, you keep walking your path of truth. You keep being yourself and your authentic self and staying in alignment with that. And yes, there's going to be vulnerable moments. There's going to be vulnerable times. And that's what the healing and the alignment and the chakra meditation is all about. It's finding your truth regardless of what other people think or want your truth to be. Because it doesn't matter what they think. It doesn't matter what they want. It just doesn't. And I feel that you probably have already met some people that have already aligned with you and that continue to like show you what you need for yourself. Like it's like almost like they mirror your energy because they're walking the same path as you. Yeah, they have their own individual like personal details that are different, but the spiritual path is the same. So we move to your throat chakra. We move to speech, where you're now going to be able to verbalize how you feel. The Magician. Look at this poor guy. He looks so disheveled. Okay. So he needs some help here. He needs to speak something out here into existence here. Okay. So what does the Magician have to say about all this? Okay. This is going to be interesting. Let's see here. Magician energy. Okay. So the Magician is the archetype of magic and sorcery. All the magic of the world resides inside of you. White flowers as pale as the moon blossom and release puffs of sweet sugary pollen toward the Shadow Witch. She inhales deeply and stops to consider who would cast such a powerful flower spell. The hooting of an owl directs her attention toward an old woman. A crone stands at the ceremonial table. The Shadow Witch wonders if she is looking at a vision of her future self. Everything she meets inside the world is part of who she is. None of us are actually separate from each other. The witch is the magician, and the magician is the witch, just as you are the Shadow Witch, and the Shadow Witch is you. The magician stands in a posture of enchantment, breathing life and energy into the wood. She points her right arm to the sky, the spirit world, the place of inspiration and ideas. It represents your highest potential. With her left hand, she channels acute energy through her like a lightning rod, grounding the electricity to the earth. She could direct this power anywhere. She is the conduit and literal embodiment of the three worlds we live in: upper spiritual, middle material, and lower subconscious. Each of us is an energetic channel. Her flowing gray hair symbolizes the magician's life experience and wisdom. She never blocks, disrupts, or disparages the natural flow of energy with harmful self-hate, negativity, or feelings of unworthiness. She focuses on the present and never looks to the past or the future. Like a flower or bird who never stops to think about what it did yesterday or what it will do tomorrow. Her presence keeps her step in the natural magic. She is the energetic filter of the creative life force who ignites all things by the power of her attention. True magic is not the manipulation of other people, places, or events, but the ability to master the self. Real magic teaches you to control your inner experience. If you allow it to, the outer world will rearrange itself in ways you couldn't even imagine. The magician separates herself from her thoughts, swords, emotions, cups, desires, wands, and the trick of the material world, pentacles, by becoming a silent, active observer. She follows the path of least resistance. The magician pays attention and stays open to signs, omens, and messages. She knows when to apply pressure and when to back off. She does not fear the unknown. She embraces it. She knows she is who creates her reality. She seeks what is seeking her. The owl is a magical omen, a symbol of clairvoyance and astral projection. Owls are nocturnal creatures who see what others do not. Tarot cards are spread across the magician's table because tarot is a gateway into the historic arts. The table is carved with the magician's axiom, as above, so below. What is true for the world is true for us, and what is true for us is true for the world. We exist between shifting polarities, but all is actually one. The world is not outside of you, it is inside. Two triple spiraled pre-Celtic Triskelion symbols are engraved on her table, reflecting the creative principle of the universe. A lemon kit floats above her head. It is the symbiotic flow of life energy, the dynamism that makes life possible. Her dress is cinched at the waist by a snake eating its own tail. It is an alchemic symbol reminding us of life's energetic circle. Nothing ever disappears. It simply changes form. Charisma, dynamic personality, working wonders, ability to take action, purposeful magic, asserting one's will over the self, supreme self-governance, the ability to realize one's full potential, activity and intention, clear and conscious goals. Now, there is a shadow side to this, and it's not fun for anybody, but I'm going to let you know what it is. The maniacal need to control all things. Interfering with other people's business, manipulation of others for a false sense of power and for personal entertainment. Okay, we know who this is. We know who these people are. Okay? Hurt people. Yeah. It's great. Love it. You don't have to you're going to have to just try not to focus on that, Sag. I know, easier said than done, but we can't, the haters are going to hate. They're going to hate. The trolls are going to troll. This little guy I found, though, he's so cute. This can be your little, totem protector. Isn't it cute? It's like a little bat gargoyle, wolf dog with little demon horns. So cute. I love it. So showing off to inflate a sense of personal value, purposefully pushing someone's buttons and seeking reactions in chaos. Yeah, you're gonna have to you already know you have value, Sag. Everyone has value. Okay, everyone matters. It's just people like to get into other people's business. They like to gossip. They like to spread rumors, or they like to act like they are the hierarchy of society, and they get to determine and dictate other people's information and spread it around like wildfire. It's what are you trying to do here? You're trying to burn down the whole village? You're trying to burn down people's whole sense of self-worth? I don't get it, but okay. Cool. Good for you. Barf in a bag somewhere. Okay. Okay. Moving on. Okay. At the end of the day, your intuition, your third eye is going to lead the way. Okay. So let's see. The moon. Oh, the intuition card. Nice. Love it. Okay. So the moon. Yeah, I really didn't start this with the intention of like going down the shadow tunnel, the shadow road there. But I feel like right now though, it definitely applies to you, Sag, and I feel like you definitely need to hear like these words of encouragement that like, yes, people do operate in the shadow energy all the time. And I'm like, how can you even, or why do you even want to do that to yourself? But I mean, that's the part of like society and these structures and these systems that like we cannot, like, we can't, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink the water, and you don't always get to like, you started off with the teacher energy and the mentor energy, and there are going to be some people that like just don't want to recognize like what you have to offer or recognize what lessons you've learned. Instead, they just want to talk about your business all the time, and that's not okay, and that's not a nice thing to do, and they feel better about it themselves, and they feel like they're in more superiority, or but again, hurt people, Sag. That's just how it is. So moving on. Moving on. Okay, so we got the moon energy. Let's see. Moon energy. Okay. Moon. Okay. The moon is the archetype of mystery. Portents are seen in the mind's eye and felt in the body. A full moon rises, it outshines all celestial objects. The shadow witch feels a stirring deep within her. A body rises from the waters as if the moon were a magnet, birthing a fully formed woman from the murky depths. The moon reflects new possibilities rising from your subconscious to fill the space you have created. The moon is odd and unfamiliar. It is something new taking form. The moon is uncanny, mysterious, psychic, and dangerous because original creations are rarely familiar. It can be downright frightening and scary to encounter something you can't identify. This is why the things we desire often frighten us. New possibilities, new ways of being, draw unfamiliar responses from us. The moon card gently lets us know we can support what is rising. The time is at hand. This is the birth of what always existed within. The subconscious communicates directly with your highest consciousness. There is no interference. This urge, desire, and new way can rise through the moon's reflected light. Sacred imagination is activated. Visions of future portents are seen in the mind's eye and felt in the body. The lady rises from lunar subconscious depths as the pregnant moon rises in the night sky. Two wolves howl, reflecting our animal instincts. Dual Gothic towers foreshadow the evolution of what is to come. What will be built? A path leads from the water to a distant mountain. This is the path of completion. What rises is sure to become real. Dreams, nighttime psychic activity, and the paranormal. An idea, thought, or thing inside your subconscious is ready to rise and be seen. Imagination, visions, dark magic. Okay? Yes. So shadow stuff is going to be like mania, deception, and mental illness, crossing the line into madness, unable to find the line between sanity and insanity, blurred vision, entrapment, obscuring the truth, blaming other circumstances for inner turmoil. And that's the thing about like the Shadow Queen, like my concept on that and that archetype, I believe is like an archetype because it's like you can have like this ability to like tap into your psychic clairvoyant abilities, and you can go down that path. And there's also the part where if you are subjected to like constant like trauma, constant abuse, constant triggers, like constant like negativity, like if without healing, without doing the healing and the shadow work and the light work, without choosing that path of healing and enlightenment, and finding balance and harmony within yourself, how are you going to be able to survive that? How are you going to be able to understand that, even if you're not even given the tools or the concepts, you know. And like, that's the thing about the teacher. This brings back to the Hierophant again. If you're not willing to teach yourself, or what are you willing to do? How are you willing to learn and thrive? And we all go through these like trials and tribulations in our lives, but if we stay on the path of destroying other people for our own personal gain, like war, for example, is like the perfect example of how and what happens when people choose to not heal and choose to continue the cycle of hurt and the cycle of abuse, because they're not choosing the alternative, which is the path of enlightenment, which is the path of healing. So, you know, that's why we have war and famine and, you know, these problems in society, okay? Because other people want to blame other people. Hurt people want to hurt other people. And it's just like, people have to stop projecting that, and they have to start doing the inner work on themselves. That's how society heals itself. That's how the cycle ends, when you change it. When you actively do something completely off grid, completely different. That's when, like, you know, that's the glitch in the matrix that, you know, the collective talks about all the time in the tarot community. It's like, you have to break the cycle. You have to be the catalyst. And you are a catalyst, Sag, for your own life. You know, you can't like, you know, you can try to help other people see that, you know, but if they don't want to see it, then, or they see it, but they don't want to embrace it as reality, then you're like, okay, well, good luck, you know, good luck to you, my friend. Peace be with you. Okay. Crown your highest self. The High Priestess, Sag, is your highest self. Trusting your intuition. And the student becomes the master. And the student becomes the teacher. Okay. Yeah, Sag. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. The High Priestess. All right, I'm gonna let you know what's going on with the High Priestess. Okay. And then I'm gonna read you some of this other book that I have, a message from there as well. Okay, so the High Priestess is the archetype of the authentic self. You are the divine whisperer of the universe. Whisperer. You are a whisperer. I feel like you're like a ghost whisperer or like something. You know, I don't know. I'm getting like horse whisperer. I don't know. Like you have a language that only you speak or something like that. Maybe it's like your love language. I don't know. The Shadow Witch feels water tickle her toes. She wonders if she's wandered into a puddle or a stream. Lots of water here. Okay. Silky liquid floods the path. Gaping trees groan as they teepee in toward each other, their branches reaching high for a full moon they will never touch. Lunar sparkles glisten across the deluge. Out of the mist is a moisture, a figure takes shape. The luminous presence of the High Priestess rises before the Shadow Witch. The High Priestess holds a scroll and silently unrolls it. The word tarot appears. This is the book of your life, containing every possibility, every imaginable outcome. It is ever-changing and all-encompassing. The High Priestess is the blueprint of your soul and the pure authenticity of the self. She is everything you were, are, and will be. She is your container of soul knowledge. She is inner wisdom waiting to be revealed. She is your ebb and flow, the cyclical energy of your life. Two trees enclose the High Priestess from either side, reflecting the dual polarities we move between in the material world. This is dark and light, awake and sleep, highs and lows, and all shadows in between. The dark wood's initials are carved into the bark, marking the threshold into the wood's innermost secrets. What treasure is locked away inside of you? The High Priestess's secret is silence. Silence is the space of manifestation. Silence is the space of infinite possibility. It is the expansiveness containing all four elements. Silence is the space between the cards and a tarot reading. Sort out what is meaningful to you and show your intentions inside silence like seeds in a garden. The high priestess's dress dissolves into water because she is the font of all waters found within the tarot deck. She is lunar tides, rushing rivers, the lady of the lake. She is the animatic fluid that sustains you. The high priestess is your special details, your likes and dislikes, your talents and fascinations. The full moon rises above her head while a waxing moon is strung around her neck, reflecting her lunar connection to the cyclical nature of the seasons of your life. Who you are spills out naturally when you are true to yourself. She is the subtle self who becomes stronger while acting in alignment with the universal forces. She is the space beyond word, image, and sound. She is the knowing that extends outward into the ever-expanding, ever-unfolding you. Silence, secrets, darkness, evolution of the soul. The blueprint of your personality, talents, and traits. A deep knowledge and third eye vision, activated intuition, lunar cycles, inner knowledge, personal authenticity. Okay? Yeah, just for your own, your own like preference here of like what kind of people you want around you versus what kind of people you don't want around you, like energetically. There are going to be self-indulgent and self-centered, narcissistic, obsessed with the self, an exaggerated sense of importance, excessive need for admiration, lack of empathy, distrust, and the ability to follow one's own inner voice. Okay, you're gonna have to not entertain that energy, because it can be alluring, especially if you're an empath. That can be an alluring energy, because a narcissistic energy is something that like always wants to like feed off of you and wants you to constantly like give it time and give it energy that will take away from your own personal authenticity. Like it will strip away your authenticity. So you have to just keep being your authentic self. You'll know when you're around people that like want you to be authentic around them and want you to be real around them, because they're going to show you their realness. They're going to show you their authenticity. They're going to like inspire you and motivate you in ways you never even imagined. And like that is you finding your soul tribe. That is you finding your people, that is you finding yourself, even because sometimes we meet people on our path that like show us like you're like this beautiful authentic person, like just keep being yourself, versus a narcissist that's going to tell you to not be yourself and keep trying to chip away at everything that you built for yourself. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to read you the High Priestess passage from here, from Meditations on Tarot. Okay. And yeah. The High Priestess. Okay. Dear unknown friend, as set forth in the preceding letter, the magician is the arcanum of intellectual geniality and cordiality, the arcanum of true spontaneity, concentration without effort, and the perception of correspondences in accordance with the law of analogy are the principal implications of this arcanum of spiritual fundicity. It is the arcanum of the pure act of intelligence, but the pure act is like fire or wind. It appears and disappears, and when exhausted, it gives way to another act. Okay. Wisdom has built her house. She has set up her 7 pillars. The wind blows where it wills, and your heart the sound of it, but you do not know whence it comes or whither it goes. So it is with everyone who is born of the Spirit. Okay. And also this here. When the mirror is there, the mirror image is produced, but when it is not there or it is not in the right state, the object of which the image would have been is all the same, actually there. In the same way as regards the soul, when that kind of thing in us which mirrors the images of thought and intellect is undisturbed, we see them and know them in a way parallel to sense perception, along with the prior knowledge that is intellect and thought that are active. But when this is broken because the harmony of the body is upset, thought and intellect operate without an image, and then intellectual activity takes place without a mind picture. Okay? Yeah, so it's like the high priestess, like that type of energy, it will be mirrored throughout your life. And you will see reflections of like trusting yourself and knowing who you are. And you'll see like there will be signs, there will be like synchronicities, there will be dreams even that show you who you're meant to like be around, like where you're meant to go, and like um if there's for whatever reason like there's a person, a place, or a thing that like you're not meant to like be around or not meant to see or be there or experience, then it won't be there. And just know that like that is because there's something else that needs to occur first. There's something else that it needs to happen and needs to get done. Like it's just like the high priestess energy is really about um it's almost like you're seeing your own future and your own self, and you're experiencing it through the eyes of people who actually appreciate your authenticity, and actually appreciate who you are. Like that's the ability of like foresight, okay, and also being able to receive messages from not just um, you know, like narcissists and toxic people, but that energy needs to be blocked from your life in order for the high priestess to be activated, in order for the full alignment. Okay, because if you let too much negativity into your life, then you're gonna be like absorbing it, and you're not gonna have the energy to see what you really need to focus on. Okay, and how you reflect on yourself and how you mirror yourself in other people, and um yeah, just like knowing yourself, finding yourself, um just being yourself, Sag. Like that is when you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror, like, people will look in the mirror. I'm not talking about a literal mirror, okay? Like, unless you've had a dream about that, then it's like there's something deeper there. But like, you wake up and you look in the mirror, right? And you're like, you're reflecting on your life, and you're seeing yourself the way the people who love you and appreciate your authentic self see you. It's powerful. That's how you know you've tapped in. That's how you know you've gotten to alignment. Okay, Sag? I hope that made sense. I don't know. If not, just whatever. But anyways, love and light always. Thank you so much, Sag, for watching. Okay, take care now. Bye.